In today's video, we are taking you inside the Five Nights at Freddy's haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios Hollywood. That's right, a sneak peek inside of the insane haunted house experience. This thing was absolutely incredible. We've definitely never seen anything advanced like this before at Halloween Horror Nights. And it's really hard to tell what's real as far as what's a puppet and what's an animatronic. But we have so many photos and videos to share with you all. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. Welcome back to Exploring Attractions, everybody. My name is Scott, and you're watching your stop for all things attraction related. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button with those bell notifications on. And you leave this video a like at the end if you enjoyed it. And you want to see more Halloween Horror Nights content, because more content is coming very, very soon. And you can also check out all of our social content, TikTok, X, and Instagram, which can all be found down below in the description. So I want to say a huge shout out to Universal Studios and John Murdy for having us out to this exciting Lights On tour. We were able to do Fallout the day before, so we were very excited to do Five Nights at Freddy's as well. And also huge shout out to my buddy Rob, who was there taking photos and videos for us since we weren't able to make it. You guys need to go check out his Instagram and social pages. This also can be found down below in the description. But we started off the tour in front of the house experience, the Five Nights at Freddy's facade, and it's just so surreal to see this thing in person. What was really cool is usually when we do these lights on tours, they don't really have like the full effects going on, but for the facade, they were testing some of the lighting effects and everything, so we were able to see exactly how it's going to look like when all the lights are turned off and the facade lights are on flickering. You can kind of see it's like they're making it more run down with all the music playing and the lights flickering on and off. Really cool effect to really get you ready for you to walk into this haunted house experience. Now, right off the bat, after you go through kind of the tunnel scene, you are greeted with the giant room. And unfortunately, we were not able to take a photo of the main stage because the animatronics aren't ready quite yet. We were, however, able to get some photos and videos around the area with the different pizzeria booths and everything. Obviously, the glass stained designs of the different Five Nights at Freddy's characters are a part of these booths. So really immersing you inside of the pizzeria. And on the left hand side of the stage, there's going to be another stage where there will be kind of like a puppet scare actor scene that happens. That'll be kind of your first scare of the house experience, is on the left hand side of the stage when everyone's all distracted looking at the main stage with the insanely impressive animatronics. And I want to say before we get into the next scene, it's so insane to me the fact that they're using puppetry and animatronics in this. There's a couple ones that it was really hard to tell which ones were actually real and which ones were just robots. Real meaning like actors are going to be operating them. Murdy did a good job at like explaining some of them, but some of them it's just really hard to tell. So now you go backstage into the kitchen area of the pizzeria after you're greeted with the animatronics in the main showroom. It's really cool that they're taking us into the kitchen, and Murdy even described some of the pots and pans that they'll be moving when you're in the kitchen. So really neat little effect there, other than just like stagnant pots and pans that are just there for decoration. No, they're actually going to be moving as well. There's different Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria boxes in here, obviously for the pizza and whatnot. Plenty of different audio effects going on in here. It's going to be weird. It's going to be a little bit brighter of a scene, but still scary nonetheless. And yes, if you guys have watched the movie before, because this house is based around the movie, obviously there's going to be the Easter eggs and callbacks to the games, but this one is solely based on the Blumhouse movie. Mr. Cupcake is in the kitchen. But yeah, you are greeted with a Mr. Cupcake scare. Mr. Cupcake will be popping out of the side of the fridge, scaring guests. They'll be operated by a blackout character, and we can't wait to see Mr. Cupcake with all the lighting effects and everything. But also inside here, you'll be greeted by Chica. A Chica puppet will be in here before you head into the kitchen. So like right after you walk through the main stage area, Chica will be popping out and scaring the living crap out of you. After we got out of the kitchen, we go through a couple of transition scenes. One scene being this unique scare to where you're going to be distracted on the right hand side from a scare actor being attacked by one of these insane puppets. And then on the left hand side, when you're distracted, there's going to be a giant, what presumably this looks like Freddy's hand, coming out at you and essentially trying to grab you and scaring the living crap out of you on the left hand side. I think that's a really unique effect that they're trying to pull off here, kind of really distracting the guest while they're walking through, to where they're not paying attention, and they get scared by a giant Freddy hand. But that brings us into the security room, where there's no characters necessarily in this security room. It's just really like attention to detail heavy in this room. You obviously have all the different security cameras. They really went all out as far as the attention to detail, and just different little Easter eggs that I'm sure lots of Five Nights at Freddy's fans could kind of point out when they're walking through this house experience, or even maybe they're watching the video right now and they see some unique Easter eggs that I may have missed in this video. You are greeted by Mr. Cupcake once again, another one of those unique little scare actor puppets. There's going to be a very unique kind of foxy figure, to where what I really like is they describe this as kind of like symbolizing the game and how the jump scares happen, to where you can see them from far away and they get closer and closer and closer, and then they kind of like they blow up on the whole screen. That's kind of the idea that they're trying to do here with strobe lights and whatnot, like kind of make an effect, because the Foxy is on a track and it'll slowly come at you and then come at you very fast. I think that's unique. Like I said, even though this is based around the Blumhouse film, they're still taking little Easter eggs from the video games and bringing them to life in this haunted house. But you can kind of get a good idea of the track on the floor that Foxy is on. Now, I can't confirm this because Rob says he overheard it and he wasn't too sure if he heard it correctly, but we're pretty sure that the employee of the month kind of signage here is Five Nights at Freddy's YouTubers, like YouTubers who got super popular playing this game. So a little Easter egg there for you diehard Five Nights at Freddy's fans, which I think is pretty unique how they kind of hide stuff in here like that. But that brings us to everyone's favorite in the strap scene. They did a really good job at the detail for the strap. Like if you look at it really closely, it's insane the amount of detail that they were able to capture inside of this whole trap. And the front side of it was Freddy's face and everything. Man, it looks so freaking cool. Really impressive stuff here. They really, I mean, I'm gonna keep saying it, they really went all out with the detail on the Five Nights at Freddy's house. I mean, the glowing eyes and everything, like just wow. Really impressive stuff. The rest of the haunted house experience kind of takes place in like the backstage kind of warehouse area of the pizzeria, to where this is where you get hit with all the different puppets, all the different scares. You get to see all of your favorite characters back here. Obviously, you see more Freddy puppets, and let me tell y'all, even just judging from the photos, but Rob was telling me, like in person, these puppets are freaking huge. Like they look so big in the photos. I can only imagine how big they look in person. There's actually a clip of John Murdy standing next to one, and he's a tall guy, and that'll give you like a good scale of how big these things are. But speaking of that puppet that he was kind of talking about, this is Bonnie, and Bonnie's kind of like a unique scare because those arms that open up will actually grab a scare actor and take the scare actor as one of their victims. So not only is the Bonnie puppet moving, but also there's a regular scare actor coming out and essentially being a victim to Bonnie getting attacked. Really unique feature right there. You obviously see Foxy pop out again as he's surrounded by a bunch of different storage bins and cardboard boxes all over the place. You go into this fun like arcade area where there's a bunch of old arcade games seemingly from the pizzeria. You have Mrs. Dumpty, you have Scoopin' Sam, and different other arcade games. And then you slowly approach the end where you'll see Chica with Mr. Cupcake. This time Chica's holding Mr. Cupcake, so we see Mr. Cupcake a lot in this house experience. I'm happy. Mr. Cupcake deserves their representation in this house. You see Freddy once again, this time hiding behind a bunch of bins, so he can't necessarily grab you, but he's still letting you know like he's there to scare the crap out of you. The finale scene is where you see William Afton, obviously the Springtrap suit. Obviously this haunted house experience wouldn't be complete without you seeing him at least once, and what better way to wrap up the Five Nights at Freddy's house experience than seeing him for one last scare before you exit the house. Overall, this exceeded our expectations as far as like even just lights on behind the scenes, and we haven't even seen it in its full effects or all the actors jumping out at us, but this has exceeded our expectations. And if you guys are Orlando fans, it's the exact same in Orlando. We're really in for a treat this Halloween Horror Nights season, and we can't wait to see this with all lighting and everything. Huge shout out to Universal for having us out. This was an experience like we've never done before, just as far as like the scale of this haunted house goes. Huge shout out to the team for pulling this off. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button with those bell notifications on and leave this video a like if you did enjoy it. But as for today's video, my name is Scott. You've been watching Exploring Attractions. Positivity is key. And most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.